7, the penultimate round for this season. And to take you through it, Jack Daniels Racing is Jack Perkins alongside Aaron Newman.
And Matt, we've got some guest drivers this weekend. This man is well known, but not for his racing prowess. 3-time AFL Premiership player Jason Ackermanis has joined the Mini Challenge this weekend, the Western Bulldogs superstar. He's going to start from last, but he's actually been really, really impressive this weekend.
As you said, qualifying was a really good session, really close, and Todd Fiore managed to get pole.
It was wet, so it was difficult. Neil McFadden is starting from 6th. He's the championship leader. Jason Bargwanna from 7th. He's on a roll. He's won 8 races in a row, but he's got 50 kilograms of success ballast, so he's really up against it, Bargs, this weekend. Stuart Appleby, 8-time PGA Tour, the Uberstar car, so golf and AFL on the final row of the grid. 16 cars for the Mini Challenge. There's Stuart behind the wheel of the Uberstar car that just about everyone's had a drive of this year.
Yeah, it's great to see too, a golfer and an AFL player out here mixing it up. Shows that they're pretty keen about their racing and their cars, and they've both actually done a pretty good job. Less than only just 1 second off the pace.
Hang on a second. Was that Acker in the background there firing onto the grass?
It could have.
There was a car just taking off right behind Stuart Appleby. I reckon Acker was trying to warm the tyres and has ended up straight onto the infield. There he is. What on earth is going on here? He talks the talk, but he's not walking the walk. Have a look at the rear of it. It's punched the rear window out. That is really, really strange. He's ended up on the infield over towards the other part of the racetrack that runs parallel.
Bit of damage on the rear wing. The car may have even gone over onto its roof.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what's happened there to Jason, but hopefully he's all is well.
Whether he's just trying to get some tyre temperature in the warm-up. Here we go. He's already off the road, barrel rolling. Now, I know Ackermanis likes to get headlines, but this is going too far. That's unbelievable.
I've seen him do the handstand on the ground before.
Here we go.
I'm not sure what he's trying to do here.
He's just lost it, and it's dug in, and the Bulldog has been bitten and barrel rolled it. Now, Rodney Eade gave him the all-clear to come and do this, but I don't think he expected that something like that could happen.
No, it doesn't look like he was doing anything drastically wrong. He was just weaving and getting the tyres warm, which is what we do in every category before a race, get a lot of try and get some temperature into the tyres, and unfortunately it's just bitten in and put him on the wet grass, and the rest was history.
So while Jason Ackermanis licks his wounds, the field is delayed for the start. We'll get racing in the Mini Challenge. Often racing in race 1 of the Mini Challenge. Paul Stokel argues at turn 1. We're down to 15 cars for this first race of the weekend. A track that's seen some rain today. It's dry at the moment, but conditions still tricky to get some grip.
Yeah, absolutely. Into the famous hairpin. This is where it's all going to happen on the first lap. Some guys will be a little bit adventurous, but it looks like they've all got through there okay, with Stokel followed by Fiore.
It's just the in-car with Neil McFadden, our championship leader in the white industry-backed car, fresh back from a trip to China. In fact, he works for his sponsor, actually, so he's on his way, carving through the sweeper here, going by Paul Fiore.
See the rain on the lens there. Could be a bit dicey in some of these corners. A dry track with a little bit of rain coming down, and slick tyres could make it interesting.
That was Jason Bargwanna trying to sneak on through. And Bargs has been the man in the Mini since he created his own team and joined the series halfway through. He's yet to be beaten, but this weekend he's got a lot of work to do from halfway through the pack.
Yeah, both the Bargwannas done a great job. As we see a couple of guys getting quite close here.
Paul Morris there filling in this weekend for Todd Wanless, who is busy with sprint car duties, and that's another category that Morris is running. Now that's David Turner in the yellow car slowing, and he's not indicating to let them all through. He's got a problem. He was third, no more.
Morris looking to the outside now. He's got around the outside there. Probably the wrong side to be leading into the corner off the back straight. He's on the outside, but he's made the move stick.
There's an extra verge of concrete there on the exit of the hairpin, so provided you get given racing room, you can get away with it.
Yeah, and there's actually a little bit more grip on the concrete when it starts to rain like this. For some reason, the concrete offers a little bit more grip, and Paul obviously got good traction and was able to make the pass move.
Speaking of traction, Stokel's clearing away. Morris up the inside now on Jason White, who is debuting in Mini Challenge. He's more at home on the tarmac in terms of Target Tasmania has been something of a real front runner in bitumen events. But he's right in the middle of the pack here. This is 4th, 5th and 6th. Paul Fiore and Scott and Jason Bargwanna.
With Morris hot in pursuit of these guys. He's past 2 on that lap now, and he's got the headlights on. No, he doesn't, but he's catching the guys in front.
Stokel leads, 1.2 seconds the margin. He's pretty busy trying to rebuild this championship. He's 5th at the moment, but he's within striking distance of Fiore and Nathan Gear, who is a long way back. He's had all sorts of problems. He's 10th in the second of the DK Ruck cars. And out of it all, Grant Denyer, even though he's been injured, he missed the last round, he's still actually second in the championship. Yeah,
it's incredible to think that you can be missing a couple of rounds and still second, but Stokel looks to be the man to beat. He's at the fastest lap of the race so far, and it looks like he's got a commanding lead.
Now down at turn 6, Paul Fiore under heaps of pressure from Scott Bargwanna, and Scott's gone the long way around, which gives you the run for the hump here at turn 1, but it doesn't give you the run for turn 2.
No, it's a very tricky corner. It looks quite simple, but there's a lot of bumps, undulations and things that upset the car. It actually makes for great racing.
And how about Jason? No cousin love here, straight up the inside and steals the spot.
Yeah, which has enabled Paul to get a little bit of a run on the outside now, which will set him up for the inside into the hairpin.
You could hear the turbocharged minis, and you could see Jason Ackermanis standing there, arms crossed. A spectator for this one. Look at the braking moves going on here. Morris up the inside, into the side of Jason Bargwanna. Free spot for the rest of the field.
That was interesting. Paul saw a gap there and he lunged in quite late on Scott Bargwanna, I think it was, and they had a little bit of a touch, but hopefully they haven't lost too many spots.
Just knocked the guard loose there on Scott's car, but the end result is that a lot of other drivers have managed to pick up a couple of spots. Stokel's driving away, 1.7 seconds the margin. He's probably done more laps around this place than anyone, being a Tasmanian, and cut his teeth really in the junior categories here.
Yeah, he has, and his 2.2 second lead definitely demonstrating that he's got the pace here. A little bit more rain on the lens there, which could make it interesting, but definitely dry conditions on the track.
How's Nathan Gear's form over the turn 1 kink there, really throwing this car around. Now, he's fighting there with David Stillwell. He's the son of Michael Stillwell, who's been running Mini Challenge this year, been doing a bit of improved production racing before stepping into the Minis this weekend. Here's Bargs. He's carrying 50 kilograms of success ballast, so he is really beefed up compared to some of these other drivers around him who don't have that weight penalty, and that really does play its part down the long straights.
Yeah, absolutely. The heavier the car, the slower it is down the straight, but it's a great equaliser. You know, it means that Jason can't go out and absolutely beat everyone, and it brings him back to the field, so it makes for really great racing.
He's just honing in here on the back of Paul Fiore, and they've had to work on his brother Todd's car since the last round. There's Paul Morris outside the top 10 now. I don't think there's a racing category he hasn't done this year. He's tried just about everything.
He has. Paul loves his racing, and whenever he can get an opportunity to jump behind the steering wheel, he does, and the Mini opportunity came up this weekend to fill in for Todd Wanless, and I know that Paul has driven his sprint car, so I think they're swapping and going with their machinery.
You might make a call to Lewis Hamilton, get a switch going. Now, hairpin, braking duel.
Bargwanna's on the outside, got a little bit hot, but he gets the crossover now, and if he gets a good run, he'll be on the inside now for the corner off the back straight.
Both of them flat to the floor, and Bargwanna, the key there is essentially making the straight longer, because it gives you more of a run, more speed, and he's on the right side for the left-hander. Fiore's trying to squeeze across, but he can't fight that. Yeah, he can't. You see that Fiore didn't have the success ballast, and he was able to pull a little bit of a gap on Jason down the straight, but because Jason had track position on the inside, he got the move done, and he's moved into 4th place.